Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, the latest on the potential of a state government shutdown as the legislature wrangles over a budget. Also tonight, we'll get a binge-worthy watch list of summer movies and TV shows. And Squid Soup returns to the Scottsdale Museum of Contemporary Art. Those stories and more next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your public television station.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Ted Simons. Governor Katie Hobbs today quickly vetoed two House budget proposals that the Senate reluctantly went along with. The vetoes followed the governor working with the Senate on a spending plan that the Senate approved, but the House wanted no part of. The House could still take up the Senate budget, or either chamber could come up with a completely new budget. Regardless, a budget is needed by June 30th to avert a government shutdown. We will have much more on this last-minute state budget chaos in just a moment. Other headlines: the Trump administration today pushed back against preliminary intelligence reports that U.S. attacks against Iran's nuclear facilities delayed Iran's nuclear weapons capabilities by only a few months. The president today dismissed those early reports as being too early.
They presented a report that wasn't finished. We're talking about something that took place 3 days ago.
I understand that.
The report was done
so
2 days ago. Wait a minute.
Yes.
They didn't see it. All they can do is take a guess. The report was not a complete report. Yeah, the message was probably wait till you know the answer before you...
The president also insisted again that Iran's nuclear weapons program was, quote, obliterated. Now, Secretary of State Marco Rubio was more specific, saying that the U.S. set back Iran's program for years, not months, due to the destruction of specific facilities. Arizona Senator Mark Kelly went on CNN to talk about evolving damage assessments.
It's hard to destroy, basically any target. When the targets are buried deep underground, it is very difficult to do. And then the assessment of what the damage is, it's going to take some time. There's a DIA report. It's an initial assessment. I will say this about it. It does not say that the target was obliterated like the president or the SecDef said. And we'll see these reports will be updated over time. What we should do is analyze this and then kind of fit this into a bigger plan of what do we do next.
Kelly also said that it was a, quote, big mistake for the president to not go to Congress to get authorization for the attacks. As we mentioned, Governor Katie Hobbs today vetoed two budget bills pushed by the House of Representatives. The governor called the bills, quote, unserious and criticized actions by House Republicans as, quote, political stunts. Mary Jo Pitzel, the Arizona Republican, azcentral.com, has been on this story. She's still on this story. She joins us now. Thanks for taking time out. You're going to head back down there as things get... Okay.
Wouldn't miss it for the world,
Well, I'll
Ted.
bet you would. All right, talk to us now. Just vetoing two budgets. How unusual is that?
Very unusual when you're doing it basically in a matter of minutes between them. It took her 15 minutes to veto two budgets that were sent to her by the House. Each of these budgets was approved only with Republican votes in the House. One spends $17.3 billion for the next budget year. The second one was a so-called skinny budget at $17 billion that basically would continue state government services with the hope that then they don't have to have a shutdown. They can keep working into July and August and September to come up with a better plan.
So they passed those two. They had the Senate budget bill, correct?
Yes.
Oh, the bills. Okay. They knew that the Senate had worked with the governor in crafting these bills. Was that the reason? Did they even consider that?
They haven't yet. But the indications are that there's only one budget plan left standing right now. So the cheese stands alone, I guess. And with the two House Republican-only budgets now dust, we are told that the House will bring up the Senate plan, which was negotiated between Hobbs, the Senate Republicans, and all the legislative Democrats. So, most of the players on a budget negotiation, and it'll be the House's turn to decide, can they accept this? Do they want to get some changes in there? But the Senate Appropriations Chairman John Kavanaugh is saying, we can't have that many changes. clock's ticking. They got to get this thing done by the end of Monday.
I was going to say, clock is ticking, and you also need 3 days for these bills, do you not? Or do you need those 3 days?
Oh, no. I mean, technically you do. I mean, by tradition and by statute, that's how you're supposed to take 3 days to move a budget bill through the final process. But just this morning, the Senate waived the 3-day rule, and in the course of, I don't know, a half hour, approved not one, but 2 budget packages. These were the House budgets.
Yeah.
They sent them then back to the House, which quickly sent them up to Hobbs, where her veto stamp was awaiting. And this was done because you sort of got to get that resolved, that issue with the House budgets resolved, and sort of show the House Republicans, your plans aren't going anywhere. So get in line, take a look at the Senate budget, and by all accounts, they will do the first read on that today. They could do the second day tomorrow. They could do the third day on Friday. I will note that Friday starts just after it turns midnight on Thursday, so we could have yet another late night.
Oh my goodness! All right, this is how you put up with this kind of stuff. I just have no idea. But let's talk again about the differences between the House budgets, which, as you mentioned, are now kaput, they're adios, and the Senate budget, which still looks like it's going to be the main plan. Was there that much difference?
Well, there were a lot of similarities. I mean, they all love road projects. A lot of that was in basically both budgets. But the biggest difference is things that were the governor's priorities. Remember, the governor's a Democrat. The majority in the legislature are Republicans. So what we've seen that's in the Senate budget are things that lean more towards what the governor favors, such as money for child care, to get rid of to reduce the child care wait list, pay raises for public safety officials, which was not in the so-called skinny budget, because not much of anything was in there that was new.
Right. And so the highway funds weren't in there as well, right? The skinny budget, that
Correct.
wasn't there. But the idea, again, with the skinny budget was, let's just get something done to keep government operating while we still debate and figure out a full budget.
Right.
And that is adios. So, I mean, the Senate bill is the only thing standing. I mean, how is the House? I mean, as the Speaker, I guess, came out today and said the House has done its job twice. And, okay, great. But you're back to where you could have been earlier.
I don't know if they've done their job, but they've made their statement. They've made it very clear that they want a more conservative budget, the $17.3 billion plan that they approved on, as I like to say, Friday the 13th, which is now kaput.
Yeah.
So they've made that point, but you can't get a budget you need the Senate and the House to approve it, and you need the governor to sign it. So that has not yet happened.
Who are the major players in this?
Well, I think on the House, Speaker Montenegro, Appropriations Chairman David Livingston, who as recently as yesterday was saying, this skinny budget's the only thing that's going to pass. It's the only thing that'll ever work. Well, we'll see, because it's not a factor anymore. On the Senate side, John Kavanaugh's been the lead negotiator, I believe, with Senate staff and input from Senate President Peterson. And then really at the top level, it's Hobbs, Montenegro, and Warren Peterson.
Yeah, I thought Warren Peterson came out pretty strong against the House Republicans.
Not just the House Republicans,
Yeah.
but I think some factions of the Republican Party. And he gave this speech where he said, look, we know it's really easy to get a budget passed with only Republican votes, but that's not our reality. We have divided government. You've got to compromise. And what takes courage and leadership and, I forget the other C, competence, is to fashion a bipartisan budget that we can get everybody, get a majority on board. Not everybody's going to love everything. They're not going to hate everything.
Yeah, I thought he said that to House Republicans. You're saying to other Republicans in the Senate and outside as well?
Yes. I mean, yes, there were references to troll farms and chat bots and, some of these outside pressures. And it's worth noting that, let's see, who runs a troll farm? I mean, Senator Jay Kaufman, famously, has made a lot of money running troll farms in the past. And he has been a very vocal critic of the Senate plan. He's been a very loud dissenter.
Okay, so bottom line, got to get it by early next week. Do you think this is going to happen? I mean, it seems like it's on track now.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to predict because, I mean, here we are, it's late June, and we're still doing this. But it does appear to be, unless some new magical budget, rises out of the ether and can move quickly. But time does become of the essence, and you've got to factor in the fact that we have 90 lawmakers. A lot of them are, already embarking on other plans, like in their day-to-day life, vacations, weddings, reunions, etc. So a question of how many bodies will they have.
Interesting. Mary Jo Pitzel, Arizona Republic, azcentral.com. Always a pleasure. Good to have you here.
You bet. Thanks.
I'm Chef Mark Tarbell. Welcome to Check Please Arizona, the show where Arizona residents recommend their favorite restaurants. In this episode, it's all about family-owned restaurants.
If there's 2 people or more, you got to get 2 orders.
You had a pizza from us 25 years ago, same pizza now.
I see the ghosts of my grandparents sitting across the table. I see other people's Bubby and Grandpa, and it just makes me smile to know that it's still there doing its thing.
Thursday night at 7 on Arizona PBS.
As a Jewish woman living in her native Germany,
she was there. She was living there.
Hannah Arendt escaped the Nazis and arrived in America, where she became a leading political philosopher. Her focus, totalitarianism.
No one could ignore it. It's too important.
She'd seen it in Germany, and she could see how fascism could happen in the future.
Tyranny could arise out of the executive office.
Look for Hannah Arendt Facing Tyranny.
The banality of evil.
On American Masters.
Friday night at 8 on Arizona PBS.
It's summer, and that means, among other things, it's time for blockbuster films and binge-watching TV shows. To discuss what's coming to theaters and streaming services this go-around, we welcome Bill Goodikuntz. He's a media columnist, Arizona Republic, azcentral.com. Bill, good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Is there still a summer movie season?
Not like there used to be. It used to be the big tentpole movies, and there's a Fantastic Four movie coming out next month, and that kind of thing. But it used to, 2 things: the pandemic, and then all of the strikes kind of really almost sounded a death knell for movies in theaters. People kind of got into watching at home. But it's starting to come back. But there used to be real seasons to it. There was up until the Oscars, that was when they dumped whatever they had paid for but didn't care about. In the summer, they're the big entertaining blockbusters, that kind of thing. And then September on, that's when the film festivals occur, and that's when the Oscar bait starts coming out. Because people Oscar voters have short memories like everybody else. Doesn't really hold anymore quite as tightly as it used to.
All right, let's get to some of these films that are coming out, because I'm trying to figure out the nature of summer films. The Materialists. What is The Materialist? What's this all about?
It's not a summer film in the way that you're thinking of it. It's the new film from Celine Song, who wrote Past Lives, which I thought was the absolute best movie a couple of years ago. It's tempting to say it's a romantic comedy. It looks like a romantic comedy.
Sure does.
But there's more to it than that. It's about loneliness, and it's about the danger of relationships, and what's really important. Some of that sounds cliched, maybe it is, but Celine Song is a fantastic writer and director, so it rises above that.
From what I read, it's about a matchmaker for wealthy people, and she falls for a wealthy guy. This is a bunch of wealthy people.
She's not so wealthy. I mean,
but she falls. Okay.
Yes, but then Chris Evans is a poor actor who she used to be with.
Okay.
And so it's kind of a love triangle too.
Okay. The one I've seen a lot of commercials for is F1 with Brad Pitt standing by a car looking like Brad Pitt standing next to a car.
He looks just like Brad Pitt in this movie. Except it's sort of like an F1 race with a movie in the middle of it. It's the same director as Top Gun Maverick. It has a lot of similarities to this. Old guy kind of showing the young guy how it's done. Brad Pitt, I will say, he's, for much of the movie, sort of down and out and, hard luck, that kind of thing. Then he takes off his shirt and does pull-ups, and he looks like Brad Pitt doing pull-ups. But I liked it. It's in the car footage, fantastic.
Yeah, okay, cool. Sounds like they had to learn to drive F1, too, to get this thing done.
Look, I don't see how they don't die every single time they get in the car. I'm serious. It's amazing.
All right. Something else called The Mountainhead. Steve Carell. This is HBO now, right?
This is Netflix.
Yeah. What is this all about?
Maybe it's Max.
I thought it was HBO, but it's Steve Carell, right?
Yes, it's Steve Carell, and it is the same guy who made this, Jesse Armstrong. He made Succession. And which was, of course, a commentary on late-stage capitalism. This really is, and this is a lot more on the nose. These are the 3 of the 4 richest guys in the world. They're having a retreat where they're just kind of being rich tech bro types. And all of a sudden, the world starts to collapse because an app that one of them made, a social media app, the AI is so convincing that failure can't be, fake can't be detected. So wars start. countries collapse, and they're trying to figure out how to make the most money off of that.
Cool. All right. So some more rich people. Yeah, more rich people stuff.
Maybe it's a rich people summer.
All right. And this would be like TV. It's
HBO Max.
Is summer a good TV season too?
I think so. It didn't used to be. I mean, when we were younger people, as we used to, it was all reruns.
Okay.
Now they've you found with streaming and with cable companies and stuff, they found why should we stop? You know, there's no real season as such anymore. People don't watch TV that way anymore. Let's give them something new all year round.
The Bear sounds like it's a biggie about a chef returning to his family deli, something like that.
It is.
Is he a rich chef or just a chef?
He's not. He could have been rich, but he's not rich.
Okay.
And he is a very emotionally poor, you might say. It is a great show. The fourth and probably final season starts tonight. This afternoon at 5 o'clock. The first season was great. The second season I thought was maybe one of the best things that's been on TV and since The Sopranos went off the air. Third season, didn't know what to do. Fourth season, I can't really say because the review embargo hasn't lifted until but I will say it's worth watching. It's always worth watching. It's won 21 Emmys. All the actors have won Emmys. It's really good.
We're going to leave with this one, Bill, because of all the things we've covered, this is the one thing I recognize. King of the Hill's coming back.
Coming back. Our mutual great good friend Dave Walker was one of the first people to really champion this show. It's great. I mean, it's people... You know, The Simpsons, which I think is the greatest show of all time, and certainly the best animated show of all time. I really love Bob's Burgers. I think King of the Hill got kind of lost in the shuffle sometime there, but they're coming back in real time. They've all aged the appropriate amount since the show was off the air.
Oh, really? So they're not going to look the same as the original?
Bobby's grown.
Bobby's grown?
The man ain't right, I guess, now is the...
That's right.
And Hank has been, I think, he took some sort of propane job in Abu Dhabi, and he's...
Is Boomhauer going to be back?
They're back.
All right. I love that crowd, just standing in the alley talking.
And they're still staying. If you watch the trailer, there's not much that they've let out about the show, other than in the trailers you can tell their ages.
All right. Well, we didn't get to Wednesday about Wednesday Addams. Maybe in the future time we'll talk about. She finally gets a spotlight after all those years with the Addams family. Under something. Good to have you here, Bill.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
On your marks, get set, go!
Discover extraordinary lost worlds.
I know scientists that would give their right arm for this.
This is heaven. Hope y'all ready.
I'm Amna Nawaz. Tonight on the NewsHour, NATO nations pledge to boost their defense spending in a win for President Trump. That's coming up at 6 on Arizona PBS.
Squid Soup is returning to Scottsdale Museum of Contemporary Art with another immersive and ambient exhibit. Squid Soup's work has been seen by millions across the globe in galleries, museums, and festivals. Joining us now is Liam Birtles. He's a member of Squid Soup. And Julie Guinness, curator and engagement and digital initiatives for Scottsdale Museum of Contemporary Art. Good to have you both here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having
Liam,
us.
I'm going to start with you because you're a member of Squid Soup.
Yeah.
I don't know a thing about squid. What is Squid Soup?
So Squid Soup's a kind of loose collection of creatives, artists. We were founded by Anthony Rowe we started as an agency in about the late 90s. And we make very large-scale interactive light art.
A British collaborative? I mean, like when you say collaborative, what? People come, people go?
Yeah. The members of the group evolve over time. Yeah.
And as far as the exhibits, Julie, what do you see when you go to see Squid Soup?
It's an experience, I think.
Yeah.
It's immersive, so that when you walk in, you're kind of transported.
Yeah.
It creates an ambiance that the audience can experience a unique kind of audio visual.
Yeah, I mean, in this case, it's the works. It's almost like walking into, kind of like walking through an orchestra. So what you have is, in a very large gallery space, there are about 400 light and sound units, all working together. We've got some beautiful new sound recordings from a musician here, from Lunar Calendar, from Jules from Lunar Calendar, has created all these beautiful string sounds for us. All of these string sounds play on each of these light units, so you've effectively got 400 speakers operating in a space, and you step into this huge kind of sound. It's beautiful.
So
if I do say so myself.
Yeah. Do you wander through? Is there a
Yes.
path to go, or can you just go wherever you want? You're gonna bump your head against one.
Yeah, you can, and that's part of the challenge of it. Yes, you can bump your head, but yes, you can just walk through and wander through. That's one of the things that I really love about making installation art, is the fact that it's art that you interact with, you walk through, you get to choose your own perspective rather than it being just a picture on the screen.
Yes.
This is stuff you can be there together in.
Is it a challenge to exhibit something like Squid? It's got to be different, obviously different than the average painting on a wall.
Yeah, there's a lot of planning involved. So we do planning usually years in advance. We had a little bit less time, but we have a great relationship. We've worked together before at the museum. And they're so knowledgeable. There's a lot of trust, and it's very collaborative.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have an excellent team at the museum, and the part of it is converting from metric to what I mean. There's other little hiccups where we're trying to figure out lengths of things, but it's a little bit more involved. And when there's technology involved, there's also there's things that could go wrong that you weren't expecting. But that's why we have a great team together to problem solve.
And you're used to that kind of thing because you guys have been showing all over the world in all sorts of different spaces, right?
Yeah, and often outside. If you, we put works in -15 is the lowest outside in the snow, and then the hottest was probably Burning Man. We showed a work in the Burning Man in the desert, which is effectively like showing a work in a gravel pit.
Yeah,
it's just the dust gets everywhere.
Okay, so it's immersive. It's ambient. We're seeing these things. You're wandering around. I mean, is the goal to lose your bearings?
I think a little bit. Yeah, I think that would be reasonable. I think what happens in these spaces that people actually look at each other again. It becomes about social relationships. It becomes about you in the space, being together, feeling the space, and just thinking, absorbing, just reflecting on you. It's not about giving you a message or a specific meaning. Very.
Previous experience with Squid Soup, the reaction of people that went to see these exhibits. What did you hear?
I mean, I think it's important to note that things that are immersive, artworks that are immersive, it's a draw for people because it's a new experience. Again, it's art that you can touch and you can be surrounded by it in a different way. And with audiences today, with technology, we're so used to having technology near us that it's familiar. But it's an experience that I think people are kind of wanting more of and yearning for, and I think it's great to be able to have it.
And Friday you've got some sort of special deal now, right?
Yeah, we have a special celebration. It's the first look of the exhibition before it opens on Saturday. So Friday evening we have the Squid Soup summer celebration from 6 to 8 p.m. It's free. We also are going to have a live performance with Lunar Calendar, who recorded the sounds for this. So local musicians.
Would be really cool.
So it'll be a very important kind of moment for the artwork to kind of culminate locally.
I got to ask you though. You said late '90s, somewhere around there, when Squid Soup
very late '90s.
Okay, a lot has happened technologically since then. How has Squid Soup managed to navigate those waters, if you will?
Desperation, need, the desire to change. I think artists often get lost in technology, trying to fix problems, but we just focus on making the artworks we want to make, and the technology follows. There was a point at which in the UK an engineer said to me, "Oh, you've got the biggest Wi-Fi rollout, the biggest IoT, Internet of Things device rollout in the country," and we were putting an artwork in Kew Gardens.
Ooh.
And they went, "Oh, it's we don't think too hard about it. We just go,
yeah,
can we do it?"
That's the best art. About 30 seconds left here. Where can people learn more about this?
If you go to smoka.org, we have all the information about the exhibition and all of our upcoming events.
All right, smoka.org, and again, this is Squid Soup, and it's called Infinite, right?
It is indeed called Infinite. Yes.
All right. Good to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you, and thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck on the exhibit.
Thank you very much.
All right. And that is it for now. I'm Ted Simons. Thank you so much for joining us. You have a great evening.